Coming up this afternoon, Office of the Attorney General rejects suggestions that government's anti-corruption oral campaign is not achieving its intended purpose. Also to come, second quarter open source gun incident report by the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons paints a gloomy picture about rising incidents of gun violence in Ghana. Plus, this afternoon, concentrators of the Holy Garden Market at Circle protest an attempt to forcefully evict them from their trading posts. You're welcome to News Central Live on TV3. I'm Kemini Amano. Mawana is out today. Let's now bring you the details. Now, the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons has released its second quarter open source gun incident report, painting a troubling picture of rising gun violence across Ghana. Between April and June alone, 54 incidents were recorded, more than triple the 15 cases in the first quarter of the year. The Ashanti region topped the list with 21 incidents, followed by the Eastern region with 8 and the Upper East region with 7. Overall, 11 of the country's 16 regions reported cases, underscoring a widespread security challenge. Now, according to the Commission's second quarter open source gun incident report, the violence claimed 43 lives, with men making up over 90% of both perpetrators and victims. Alarmingly, armed robbery, murder, violent clashes, and unlawful possession of firearms accounted for more than 85% of all reported cases. Now, the findings raise critical questions about security lapses, weak gun control, and the growing boldness of violent offenders. Well, now, if you missed the numbers, I want to show you a bit more, because the second quarter of 2025 alone, there were 54 gun-related incidents, according to the latest report, right? When you look at the geographic spread, we have gun violence incidents being reported in 11 out of the 16 regions, which means that it's only in 5 regions that there are no incidents of gun violence for the second quarter of 2025. Now, what are the types of crimes that are reported as part of gun violence, right? We have armed robbery, 22 cases, 9 murder cases, 8 violent clashes, and unlawful firearms possessions. About 7 of those cases lead as far as, forms of gun violence are concerned. Then we also have the perpetrators and victims. We already know that when you look at these two categories, men, right, are predominantly involved in gun violence. About 90%, I told you earlier, are involved in gun violence. Then there is also the types of weapons that have been seized at crime scenes. Out of the total 42 weapons found at the crime scenes, majority were predominantly pump-action guns, about half of it, right? So you see that there are 20 pump-action guns that were seized at crime scenes as part of this. And let's have a conversation on the back of this quickly. I'm now joined by Acting Head of Communication Media at the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons, Carl Nii Anyete. So, Carl, I appreciate your time with us this afternoon. But this report, I can tell that it's a very disturbing trend, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is a disturbing trend, and it actually should prompt us as a people to wake up so that we will do all it takes to ensure that we protect the peace and freedom that we have. I always say that the peace and freedom that we have may seem free, but the moment we lose it, it will become elusive, it will become evasive, and very expensive. So if I say we all owe it as a duty to ensure that we protect this peace, I mean that I'm calling on everybody, especially your cherished listeners and viewers, Ghanaians in general, to make sure that we volunteer information concerning the illicit possession and use or misuse of of firearms. Once we get the information, we can quickly clamp down on the issue.
I see. Now let's talk about what could have contributed with nearly triple the numbers we're seeing for the second quarter of 2025. What does your report say?
Okay, so the 15 gun-related incidents was as against the first quarter of 2024. But that said, it is still worrisome. And if you look at the trend, and I heard you trying to look at some of the crime indicators, the crime indicators shows you how vast weapons are now trying to find their way into our society. Now, we have armed robbery, we have unlawful possession, we have murder, we have violent clashes, we have celebratory shootings, and others. So if you look at it, there are things that run through our society. And this
right,
is
but how are people getting their hands on these firearms?
So, legally, the law gives permission or gives the privilege for a person to own a firearm under only 3 conditions. The first one will be if you need it for protection, self-protection. The second provision is when you need it to protect your property. And the third one is when you need it for hunting. These are the only provisions the law makes room for. And when you come, you go through the process to acquire it. And anyone who has gone through the process to acquire a firearm knows that you are required by law to be a responsible gun owner. So you can't use that firearm to perpetuate any of these crimes.
Right.
So it means that people are illicitly also acquiring these firearms. It could be from the black market, and you see that we have porous borders around us. We look at what is happening in the Sahel. Those weapons can be recycled, and they can find their way into.
But Carl, so is that also an indication? Is that also an indication that the country has become lax as far as this fight against small arms proliferation is concerned? Is that the case?
No, that is not the case. That is not the case at all. The country is doing a lot. Some are immediate, others are mid-term and long-term. And as we go on, I'll tell you some of the plans that have been put in place to ensure that we clamp down. As I speak to you, the commission is in 8 border communities to ensure that we augment the efforts of the other security agencies to safeguard our borders. As I speak to you, we've been able, with the support of partners, to acquire a very sophisticated weapon detection machine, which is now being deployed at the Tema Port. The intention is to acquire more so that we can have it at the other, the other entry and exit points of the country. A lot is being done.
Right. So if a lot is being done, right? If a lot is being done, how do you explain the proliferation at the same time?
Okay, thank you very much. So I was building a point. Now, the proliferation simply means that there is a lot of arms in the system. There are so many reasons accounting for this. I've indicated weapons coming in through the borders, which we are trying to clamp down on. People now illicitly trying to own weapons because the desire to own weapons is now surging. People think that they need it to protect themselves. But we keep saying that having the weapon doesn't mean that you will be safe. Having the firearm doesn't mean that to be safe, because the firearm, if you acquire it illicitly and you've not been trained, puts you in harm's way. It also puts the people in your immediate surroundings also in harm's way. Now, if those weapons, I'll give a typical example. You have a firearm. You've purchased the firearm illicitly. You want to use that firearm to protect yourself. It is not licensed. An armed robber or a criminal attacks you. You succeed in defending yourself. Now the police will come in because a weapon has been fired. When they come in, they will find out what firearm did you use. The second question will be, is it registered? That is when you would be found wanting because it is illicit. Now the other, if we flip the coin, if you possess a firearm and and you don't know how to use it, you don't even have the courage to use it, when you are attacked, it first puts you in harm's way. It puts you in danger. Because when the criminal comes and sees that you are having a firearm, he knows that at the least opportunity, you will fire at him. So now he would want to fire at you first. So now you put yourself in danger to be shot by the criminal. If you are not brave enough also to use that firearm against the criminal, he will take that firearm from you, and that also now becomes part of the illicit firearms in the system.
Very well. So Carl, is there any particular reason why the Ashanti region tops the list of gun incidents in the country?
All right. So if we look at the economic activity that goes on in the Ashanti region, and then we just oppose it with the crime indicators that we mentioned, armed robbery and the other incidents, it is the sum total that gives the gun incidents that we have for the Ashanti region. So you know that there is mining, illegal mining, and people illicitly acquire the firearms to protect their concession. Now, because these weapons are illicit and they are easily accessible and available, they can now find their way into the society to be used to commit crime. Now, you will see that murder was also on the list. How did we get here as a people? That now we use firearms to kill ourselves. In times past, hitherto, if we have issues or there are clashes, the list will be fisticuffs. And that is it. They will continue.
Right.
But now, when a life is lost, it goes beyond statistics. People will now there will be reprisal attacks because people have lost loved ones. This is how come now you are seeing that in the Ashanti region, because of the activities, especially with the illegal mining and where they are placed, you can see that they are a central point, even in terms of transit. So in terms of smuggling and all, the Ashanti region becomes a target for the easy accessibility and availability of firearms. And that's why they are leading in the gun incidents
across the country.
The chart.
Yes, I see.
Because there's easy availability. But I can tell you that as part of the plans that has been put in place, there is a joint task force which is being formed by the Ghana Police Service, the National Security Council, and the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. And this task force will go around to ensure that they fight this menace, if I will call it. As I speak to you, the Ashanti Regional Office of the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons have engaged the Small Scale Miners Association to ensure that they become compliant and law-abiding citizens, and to also offer to also volunteer information on some of these activities, so that the security apparatus led by the Ghana Police Service, who are the foremost in terms of our internal security, we can clamp down on this issue. Because if you look away, if you don't volunteer that information, that firearm may come to harm you sometime.
Very well, Carl. That's all we have time for. I appreciate your insight on this matter. Carl Ni Anyete Soa is with the Small Arms Commission. There's more to this report. We'll bring you more on that in subsequent broadcasts. Right now, however, let's turn attention to trade, because a group identifying themselves as the concerned traders of the Holy Garden Police Station Market or Circle have expressed frustration over ongoing attempts to evict them from their trading posts. Speaking at a press conference on Thursday, the market's leaders stated that if the eviction is allowed to proceed, it will displace and render over 3,000 traders jobless. Our Joseph Armstrong has been following this development closely. He joins us with some details from Circle right now. Armstrong, what can you report?
By the concerned group just ended, they've been lamenting over these attempts to evict them from where they currently operate. According to them, they've been telling this particular place, if you know this place, it's just opposite the Circle fire service station, where they've been operating for the past 50 years. But over the years, there have been attempts to evict them from where they are and given to a private businessman, which they allege has some connections within government. So recently he came to serve notice that they should move from where they are, and he's come to expand his business to where they are. And this is what the market women are saying, that if this is allowed to continue, about 3,000 of them are going to be displaced, and this will make them jobless.
I see. Why does government want to embark on, or local authorities, so to speak, want to embark on this eviction exercise? Do we know?
So, it is just allegations coming from the traders. I've been trying to get to the MP for area and also see if I can get to the local government and ask if there's what exactly the matter is. But for now, this is just the traders accusing this businessman, and whether or not government is in support of what the businessman is allegedly to be involved in. It's another thing. So I'm sure by the close of the day, we'll be able to get government authorities to speak to the matter, whether it is true or not.
I see. These traders, have they made any petition to anybody in particular?
Yeah, they accused one Chinese foreign national who started operating a bus business there. I'm told he came around 2012 with just 2 buses, but now he has expanded. He has more buses. He has now also gone ahead to build shops that he rents, and he has also gone ahead to build hotel at the same market square. But this time around, he's trying to expand from where the hotel and the bus business is to where we have people selling phones and other trading activities over there. And this is what they are saying that cannot be allowed to happen. He started very small, and now they are alleging that he has bought part of the market area and he's aiming to buy the entire stretch of the market. I see.
Did their traders present any petition?
They did not present. They just spoke to the media, and then they said they are going to. This is just the first call. If the trend continues, they are going to present a petition to the presidency and ensure that they are ahead. But today they were just calling on the MC and also the MP for the area, that is Honorable Dr. Senator Rawlings, and they are calling her to come to their aid. If not, they will proceed to the presidency to present their petition to the president.
Very well. Thank you so much for the reporting. Joseph Armstrong there joining us from Circle, where a group of traders are asking government to ensure that they don't become jobless because they are being evicted from their trading posts. Now, government has launched the National Sanitation Day as part of renewed efforts to tackle sanitation and improved hygiene within the city. The sector minister, in an address, expressed worry over poor sanitation and urged all district and municipal assemblies, MPs as well as citizens to join hands in making this campaign a success. Nura Mohammed reports.
Initially launched in 2014, the National Sanitation Day has made a comeback, spearheaded by the John Dramani Mahama-led government. According to the local government minister Ahmed Ibrahim, this launch will be taking place at the Institute of Local Government Studies in Accra, and stated that operations will begin effective immediately on the 4th of September. During the briefing, he issued directives to the lawmakers and implementers present, while urging the media to be accountability partners. He also cited funding sources, accountability measures, and implementation strategies.
All public spaces, ceremonial streets, and visible nuisances within your jurisdiction must be cleared by 8 a.m. every day. The first 6 months will serve as a performance benchmark, during which assemblies are required to progressively shorten the timeline for removal of nuisance. 80% of the District Assembly Common Fund has been released to all assemblies. We will keep track of assemblies. Sanitation is now a key performance indicator for all MMDCs.
Speaking on behalf of the MPs present, Deputy Agric Minister John Dumelo pledged their support for the campaign. The Dean of MCs in Accra, John Desmond Soa, also said the government will be reviving the town council system.
When we were growing up, there was this town council system whereby if you do, like you mess your area, they will come and sanction you or ask you to pay a penalty. We want to bring this back.
As the nation anticipates this day, let's remember, sanitation is a shared responsibility and we must all play our part. Nura Mohammed, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, in Kwantanang, Medina Municipal Assembly is stepping up efforts to improve sanitation and order around the main Medina market and the lorry station, which has become a dump site for refuse by some unscrupulous individuals. Ahead of the September 6th National Sanitation Day, the Assembly is warning traders and waste disposal trucks of dumping refuse at unauthorized places, as it is strictly against the bylaws of the Assembly. The Municipal Security of the Assembly has also deployed personnel to focal areas of the municipality to undertake surveillance and inspection of trading activities endangering public safety. Now, on the issue of pedestrians crossing the main road rather than using the footbridge, which is a breach of road safety regulations, the Assembly has resolved to integrate the military by using 20 personnel to enforce that directive after several failed attempts. So far, 56 deaths have been recorded on the Madina-Zongo junction within 7 years. George Queenan is joining us with a live report. George, what else can you tell us about the general state of sanitation in the municipality?
Thank you, Kevin, for having me. A very good afternoon. And we are coming to you live from the La Infantanan Madina Municipal Assembly landmark. And a few hours ago, I was at the lorry station, that's actually the Madina-Zongo junction, with the MC, Ibrahim Faila, and is really concerned about some sort of some sabotage against his, attempts to make sure there's some sort of sanity restored to that very area. I want to put things into perspective. Madina-Zongo junction is well noted for insanitary conditions, and for him, he's trying his best to ensure that there's some sort of sanity. But there are people out there who are deliberately trying to, foment some sort of problem for him. But he has actually sent a strong warning to people that they should desist from that. Because even today, yesterday, when they heard he was coming to inspect the place today, people intentionally dump refuse along the median, and it's really a concern. And then there are also junkie boys who we've told that they go and pick, bins, a litter from people, take money, but wherever they go and dispose them, you can't really tell. So if I come and pick a litter from you, you pay me, wherever I'm going to dump it, it's not really a problem, because at the end of the day, I've picked your litter. So it's also a strong warning to the junkie boys around the enclave that stop this very methods that you're actually engaging yourself, because at the end of the day, we want this place to be clean and tidy, as Sanitation Day is slated for Saturday, September 6th coming in.
I see. Now, tell us about the plans to bring in the military. 20 personnel for what? Yeah,
exactly the case. So, actually, I don't know if you are privy to that very area. So, like you actually mentioned, 56 deaths over 7 years, and the MCE personally have witnessed some of this death. Some 2 years ago, he lost a friend at the West Junction. So, it's a problem of great concern to him. And so, after several failed attempts, so usually they use the community police officers, and the pedestrians are not really scared of them, unless they see the men in the uniform. So that's why they had extensive engagement with the Ghana Armed Forces, and they've resolved to give them 20 men to ensure that this very project or initiative is actually delivered to the latter. So clearly, maybe from next week, you see these 20 men in uniform stationed at this very junction to ensure that if these pedestrians even sight them, they'll be tempted to actually use the footbridge. But the minister says it's also because of the nature of the footbridge. It's more like it's work if you want to use it. So he would ensure that they actually work on it. Maybe instead of working for a minute before it gets to the footbridge, they can actually alter it and reduce it just one walk, so that it will be easier for people to actually be a motivation for these pedestrians to actually use the footbridge, because it's more like it demotivates them. That's why they would even make their shorter. So that's what it is. 20 military men are going to ensure that we enforce that very directive, because these pedestrians are not scared of the community police officers coming in.
I see, George. Let's take a listen to the MCE for Lama.
So I spoke to him, and I think he's also concerned, like I mentioned, concerned about, turn-up events here. Sanitary conditions should be a thing of the past. People should ensure that they adhere to the road safety.
They started with putting green grass, I think, about 3 years ago. But look at it today. So because it's a community of where, sometimes laws, by some few individuals, laws have been abused. I think we need to do the concrete one. Just like Malam area, then we put the iron and then the wire mesh on top of it. I'm sure when we do that, it will help the police and the security task force or the city guards, including my good self, to be directing the pedestrians to be using the footbridges. And that's what we are yearning to.
Can you confirm the number of deaths at this area?
The number of
deaths?
Yes, in 7 years we have about 53 deaths. So right from Zongo Junction here to research is because of loading on the shoulders of the streets. So if this station is also there, don't you think we can push all these drivers in the station? Must we think because of the interest of individual? No, the interest of the masses overturn the individual interest. And if you remember, in 2012, we have a fight incident between the community and the said community Baptist school. Yes, and it's we lost, I think, about eight people died on that spot. So if these people knew, because in my 50 years of life, over 50 years, that place, is the community use land. So if it's the community purpose of being the reason why it was here, then why not continue it? As a son and a Madinian person, a son of the community, I will ensure whatever due the people of Medina, they will get it, so that loading by the shoulders of the road will be kept.
Well, Ibrahim Fuseni there, he's MCE for Lama. Earlier was TV3's George Quinin, who's been covering this story closely. More of that on 3news.com. In the meantime, let's take you to the course, because suspects in the murder of Immigration Officer Stephen King Amwa have arrived at the Adabarka District Court, escorted by the police for the continuation of their trial. Family members and sympathizers of the deceased, who are the last adjourned date attempted to assault the suspects, refrained from such actions this time. Amwa, 38, was reported missing on July 3rd, 2025, after leaving his home to meet a friend at a Shoma estate. His charred body was later discovered on July 9 at Ebuom Junction near Kwabenya, sparking a manhunt and an intensive police investigation. Bright Awe and Thomas Ziga have been charged for their involvement in the killing of the immigration officer. Well, Lord Edu Asare is our court correspondent and joining us with a bit more on this. Lord, what can you report from court? It seems rather quiet today.
Kimni, as you've noted, it's all quiet here, unlike the last time when we were here that family members and then sympathizers pounded the accused persons, hurling invectives at them, and some of them actually reaching out to assault the accused persons. Today has been rather quiet day for them. I interacted with some of them and they indicated that this is so because today marks exactly 2 months since the passing of Stephen Amwa, and so they are choosing the day to solemnly observe it rather than vent their spleen on the accused persons. I'm just picking that the case has just been called, but Kimni, last time when we were here, you realized that again, lawyers for the accused persons were almost lynched, for want of a better word, because the empathizers or sympathizers again attempted to even take out their anger on him. They did not understand why he should be defending the suspects whom they believe committed that tragic murder of their beloved. And so we are here to see how things will pan out today, because at the last agenda, again, the prosecution indicated that they had amended the charges from murder to new charges. We are yet to get those new charges, as and when we do, we'll communicate it accordingly. And so we are still keeping tabs on how things will pan out today at the court regarding those two suspects. Last week, we also gathered that there was a third accused person who was arrested but has unfortunately passed. And so we are still keeping tabs on all that came in.
I see. Do we know if, the suspects are represented by the same counsel who was nearly attacked in the previous hearing?
Yes, they are still here. I'm actually picking that the judge has adjourned the case to October 9, and she actually counseling the family members who are in court, telling them that they should allow the law to take its course, and actually telling them to avoid attacking persons or the counsel who are representing the accused persons, because they are simply doing their job and it's not that they have any particular interest in the matter. I want to quickly follow up and see, because I think they are coming downstairs now because the case apparently has been called and they are done. I'm thinking that the case has been adjourned to October 9, and so I'm still picking.
We see. So who
details
is
and
coming out now? We see someone coming out. Who is it?
It's hard to tell at this point, but some of the family members who were in court, the lawyer, Sharon, let me just quickly get his thoughts on this.
Very well. It would appear that the court has adjourned the murder trial again, and what our correspondent is wanting to do is to get us a quick word with the councils involved. Let's go back there now. Well, unfortunately, we are unable to get sound from that interaction between the media and the lawyer, but the case has been adjourned to October. We'll bring you more on that story a little later in subsequent broadcasts. You're still here on News Central. Still to come. We'll bring you more from that special sit-down with TV3's Joseph Akablee and the Deputy Attorney General as he talked about oral. More of that when we return. Don't go away. Government's anti-corruption campaign is not achieving its intended purpose. Critics say the officers since the new administration took off filed only 2 cases in court with no conviction secured. Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Shremsai has been speaking on the state of Operation Recover or Loot in a special sit-down with our Joseph Akable.
To the extent that for Edu Boahen, we are about 1/3 through the case, 1/3 of the journey through the case. If not for legal vacation, which stops the courts for 2 months, we probably would have closed our case, and then the defense will be open. But we will come back in October and then continue with where we left from. That is super fast. That is very, very fast if you compare it with all the other criminal trials that we are even doing here. But I understand, I know after this, I'm sure one of the bites you put out there is that Deputy Attorney General says the oral is super fast. So then the public will say, but we don't see anything. But the point I'm trying to make is that the expectation is legitimate because of what we have witnessed. But the work we are going through and we are doing is very thorough and is vibrant. I hardly sleep. But the bigger point here is that the public would have to, as it were, be also made aware of the processes. That we can't just bundle people based on complaints and throw them into jail. So someone says 8 months down the line, nobody's in jail. We have done 8 months. We don't see anybody in jail. The people are still walking about, and some of them are giving interviews. But there is no law which says that if you are being prosecuted.
In fact, they've made reference to the National Service Secretariat one. The lady involved that the Attorney General spoke about her. She participated in a recent GFA event, and we saw, if you go on social media, you see the comments. People are saying that all what the AG said, how is the matter not in court?
Yeah, why is he still contesting and winning election and we are here? How is Edu Boahen granting interview and talking about Omani being his good friend and all? We have to, there's nothing really we can do as law enforcement about people's rights to contest, because the position of the law is that you are innocent until you are proven guilty.
The Deputy Attorney General also said government is set to present a law to revolutionize legal education in Ghana. A National Bar Council will be set up to administer professional law exams after students receive training in accredited universities.
Basically, it's judge heavy in terms of its composition is so, and give it to the universities. So the universities will be accredited, which will run the law practice program. That is what we call the Makola program. So, for example, if you go to University of Ghana, you do after your LLB, University of Ghana will be running the Makola program, which would be regulated by the new body that will be.
I guess in all universities, not necessarily University of Ghana.
I'm just using I'm just using University of Ghana as an example, but any accredited university, and it's not going to be all universities. It's going to be universities that have been vetted and given accreditation. And some of the factors that will be considered in giving accreditation is your faculty strength. That is, the persons who are teaching in the university. Are they persons who are really qualified? Do you have those people in-house?
So you do 3 or 4 years, depending on whether it's postgraduate or main at the university. Then afterwards, what happens?
Yeah, you do 1 year. It may be, we are still fine-tuning that. But what we are trying to do is that we offload a number of the subjects that are currently being treated at the law school, professional law school level to the faculty, because something as conveyancing could be treated if the faculties that the universities are teaching land law. So why can't they add conveyancing to it to round up?
When you complete that, you take an exam?
Yes, there will be a bar exam by the National Bar Council. So there will be a National Bar Council. So you don't come to any law school in Makola anymore, but when it's time, you apply, you sit for the exam, and then you take it. We are even considering the number of times the exams will be conducted every year. So it may be 3 times in a year, it may be 1 time in a year, but we have not yet reached that point. So that is what we are looking at.
What becomes of the Ghana School of Law, which you attended?
Ghana School of Law belongs to, GLC is under Attorney General Department.
Okay.
So it's our building, the facility is ours. So we may use it for other purposes like training our lawyers or training investigators, but that decision would be, you know, when you look at the lawmaking process, we have to do other consultation after the bill is drafted and everything. So those are some of the possibilities. And we have post-call people in the system. So maybe Ghana Law School will be used for, you know, running programs for post-call people or other people, but it will not be the same Ghana Law School where everybody must attend for 2 years to become a lawyer. No, that will change.
What timelines are we looking at for all of this to take off eventually?
No, so it will be sent to cabinets in the, I think that's next month. I'm almost done with my review. My boss will have the finance look at it, and then it will be sent to cabinet for consideration. So, I mean, by the end of this year, we hope, I mean, it's a parliamentary process. Once it goes out of our hand, it's in the hands of Parliament. But if we look at the timelines in Parliament, we believe that by the end of the year, it would have come out as a bill, and hopefully we'll start the implementation the following year.
Now, Acting Medical Director of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Dr. Leslie Adam Zakaria, has appealed to government to consider the construction of accommodation facility for health officers who work at the hospital. According to him, most of the workers commute from far distances daily to work, which sometimes affects their service delivery. He told the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health during a visit to the facility that accommodation is a major challenge, adding that the current facility houses very few workers. But he says as part of the expansion project for the hospital, accommodation will be a priority.
So it's a major issue. Yes, we have very few. What we have on campus, we're giving to the house officers. And even the house officers, just about a quarter or a fifth of them who have accommodation. So it's a major challenge for staff in general. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Now, let's connect now with our Christian Yare, who's been traveling with the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health. Christian, beyond accommodation, what other challenges have been mentioned?
Yes, so apart from the issue of accommodation, when you get here, the hospital authorities have indicated that space is one other challenge that they confront on a daily basis. And so when you get to a lot of the wards, like from the maternity ward, when you get to the imaging department and other department or unit, one common thing runs through that they do not have enough space to accommodate the numbers. And so there are instances that they have to always refer some of the patients to other places. There are issues about even the equipment that they use. And so when you go to the imaging department like this, the mammogram is not working, the CT scan as well as even the MRI and other, equipment that they need to work are all not functioning as of the moment. And so these are some of the pockets of issues or challenges that they have relayed to the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health to escalate. They have also mentioned the issues about charges, especially when you get to the surgical ward, for instance. They are pleading with the committee to adopt or to implement some charges from the parliamentary level so that they are able to charge fair amount to patients to ensure that everyone is well catered for. The visit by the health committee, among many other things, is to ensure that they get first-hand information of the challenges and some of the needs that the hospitals or the facilities need. Yesterday, for instance, they were at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital to do the same thing. Very soon, we'll get all the briefing to know what is the way forward concerning or even after this visit.
Christian, thank you so much for the reporting. Christian Yale there. We'll turn attention to other matters now because President John Mahama says Ghana cannot continue to pay over $15 million in rent in its foreign missions, swearing in 18 newly commissioned envoys, which includes ambassadors and high commissioners and protocol officers. The president said a transaction advisor has already been reached to see to the establishment of properties to be fully owned by the country.
Our foreign policy has always been anchored on enduring principles: Pan-Africanism, peaceful coexistence, self-determination, and the pursuit of justice and equity in world affairs. Yet today's world demands diplomacy that is also agile, that is innovative and purposeful. Global shifts in geopolitics, economics, and technology require Ghana not only to respond, but also to actively shape trends in ways that benefit our people. I therefore expect you to be vanguards of Ghana's economic diplomacy. Let your missions become dynamic hubs of export promotion, investment attraction, tourism marketing, innovative change, and diaspora mobilization. Carry Ghana's story to the world, not just as a beacon of democracy and stability, but also as a land of opportunity, open for business, embracing technology, and committed to partnerships that deliver prosperity for our youth and dignity for our working class. Your responsibilities go beyond representation. They also require strong leadership and sound administration. Your staff must be guided with fairness, respect, and a sense of shared purpose. The image of Ghana abroad is not only shaped by what you say, but also how you manage, serve, and uphold the dignity of every Ghanaian citizen that is under your care. Integrity must be your watchword. The Public Financial Management Act and all relevant regulations must guide your stewardship of public resources that are put in your care. I urge you to guard the public purse with diligence and ensure that efficiency, service, and ethical governance, the very values we're entrenching at home, shine through in every mission abroad. Let me be emphatic. Ghana cannot continue spending a staggering more than $15 million every year on renting properties abroad for our diplomatic use. This is not a judicious use of taxpayers' resources, and the reset agenda requires an immediate reversal of this trend. And that is why Cabinet has promptly approved the STRIDE initiative. And STRIDE refers to the strategic transition from rental to developing our own properties. I've tasked the Ministers for Foreign Affairs and Finance to work urgently to resolve this long-standing challenge.
There's more news coming your way here on News Central, but only when we return.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, Facts and analysis on TV, radio, online, and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Welcome back. Let's talk about that crucial game. Ghana's Black Stars will, in a few minutes, battle Chad in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. The match day 7 fixture is a reverse game of their earlier encounter against Chad, where Otto Addo's side picked up an emphatic 5-0 win at the Accra Sports Stadium. Head coach Otto Addo has expressed disappointment over the pitch in Chad, questioning the Confederation of African Football for approving it for international matches. We'll hear from him briefly, but let's talk to our award-winning sport journalist, Bill Ishan, who's here with me in the studio. Bill, are we going to see a repeat of that game?
I think there should be confidence all around because of the kind of quality that the Black Stars possess. Of course, the lineup is out. The only surprise in that lineup was Thomas Partey actually being on the bench, which would mean that there's a partnership between Elisha Owusu and Abdul Salih Samed. That is a bit more defensive. But then again, Chad is literally over 100th in the world. They have conceded 15 goals in the competition so far, only scored once. And so they're not a side that you expect them to score, and they're a side you expect them to concede a lot. And with the kind of quality that the Black Stars have on display, I think they should get a victory over Chad.
So we're looking at a good game for the Ghana side.
Yes, we are. The problem is the pitch.
Is the pitch?
Yes.
I see. Talk to us about why Otto Addo is unhappy about this pitch.
So the pitch was recently commissioned in May 2025. It was actually a gift from China, and it's more or less a synthetic pitch, right? And after the training session, Otto Addo did mention that this particular pitch looks like concrete and feels like concrete to the players, and was not happy with how it looked like.
I'm surprised that CAF allowed this pitch for an international match. The pitch is really not good. It's very hard, so for the players it's like playing on concrete. But yeah, what can we do? We have to take it as it comes, and we are prepared. We observed everything today. Like I said, it's not a good AstroTurf, to be honest. Nowadays there are far more better AstroTurfs, which are also much more healthier for the players.
We'll talk about the fans, but let's look at who are the star players in this match.
So Mohamed Kudus, of course, is starting. Antoine Semenyo is starting as well. Semenyo has been in fantastic form. He's recently nominated as one of the Premier League Players of the Month for August. And there's also Iñaki Williams, who, of course, and Jordan Ayew, who has been very important to the Black Stars in qualification. He's actually scored 5 goals and delivered 4 assists. Only 2 other players in the whole of Africa right now have scored more goals than Jordan Ayew in the World Cup qualifier. So he will be very crucial to the Black Stars.
How are fans looking forward to this?
So generally, fans expect a very huge scoreline between Ghana and Chad. They expect Ghana to be charged by a very big scoreline and win the game.
They are going to win the match massively, because looking at their enthusiasm at the first training, we are very impressed with their way they are together, one, and then they are putting their best, preparing, keeping themselves in shape for the Chad match. We are going to win massively.
I expect a win at all costs, because everybody has been yearning for the World Cup. We all want to see them up there. We want to see more of them. So we just pray that they play and qualify to win with a huge margin, maybe 3-0.
We are poised. Ghanaians are poised. We really want the win. We couldn't qualify for the African Cup, and a wider margin actually, because as you can see, Ghanaians are ready for this game, and then the game against Mali. We want to win this very 6 points. It will boost our chances, and I think by close of day against Chad, it should be 4-0.
Yeah, all we expect is win at all costs, because we believe that we're already in the US. So apart from win, we expect nothing again. Yeah, when we expect the Black Stars to play well as a well-organized side.
Chad, you know, say they came to Ghana here, we scored them 5-0. When you go there, you score them 6-0. You scored them 6-0.
Who do you think will score the goals?
Kudus and Jordan and Semenyo.
Well, highly optimistic Ghana side fans, and he's just mentioning the names of the star players as well. But what time is kickoff? Is it going to be? Is there going to be a live broadcast here at TV3?
So the kickoff is at 1 p.m. That's in a few minutes, and of course we would broadcast it on radio at 3FM 92.7. Myself, Solomon Amankwa, and the rest of the team will be on standby to give live commentary.
I see. Now, because I'm wearing yellow.
Yes.
I'll represent Team Ghana. You'll be on the chat side.
Oh, why?
You know how to do the rock, paper, scissors?
Let's do it.
So let's predict now.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, you won.
Oh, yeah, so we're winning. Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing us the details, Bilishen, there. Now, we'll turn attention to other stories now as we await that big one for Ghana today. In a few minutes, Bill says. So now, after years of battling water shortages and repeated cholera outbreaks, the people of Nkum in the Agona West municipality have received a major relief with the commissioning of a mechanized borehole by MTN under its Because You Care initiative.
Nkum in Agona West can finally heave a sign of relief as IOMTN's Because You Care has commissioned a merchandise borehole to provide safe and reliable drinking water for the community. For years, residents of Nkum have battled with severe water challenges, forcing many to rely on unsafe sources. This has not only disrupted daily life, but also led to the outbreaks of waterborne diseases such as cholera, especially among children and the elderly. The newly constructed borehole is expected to significantly curb health risks by providing clean portable water for households, schools and health facilities. Chief Executive Officer of IOMTN, Francis Gota, said the gesture forms part of the company's commitment to improving the well-being of Ghanaians.
This year we were focusing on how to provide potable water, and if you look at in February 2025, beginning of this year, there was actually a cholera outbreak in the central region. So we approached the healthcare facilities here. They recommended that this area is not having access to potable water, and it's also impacting on the rate at which cholera cases are happening here. So they advised that we should come and support the community. Hence, we chose this location for this year project. We decided to construct a mechanized borehole that will provide clean and potable water to the community here.
The Municipal Chief Executive of Agona West, Eric Jemfiodum, expressed appreciation to IOMTN for responding to the pressing needs of the people.
I thank you for taking the initiative to go there and construct a mechanized borehole for them. This has even reduced the financial burden of the assembly and, for that matter, the government.
Omankrado of Agona Nkum, Nana Impra Afo V, shared the importance of the borehole to the community.
When we got into contact with Ayo, we thought it was a joke, but by the grace of God, they acted upon their word. And we are thankful for this kind gift.
The Because You Care initiative continues to impact lives across Ghana, and with this project at Nkum, IOMTN has once again demonstrated its commitment to supporting communities and improving public health.
Well, that'll be all this afternoon for this edition of News Central. Remember to join Bilishen and the rest of the team on 392.7 FM for a live commentary of the match between Ghana and Chad. All the best to the Black Stars. Thank you so much for your company. I'm Kamini Aman. Bye-bye.